Alright, we're back, and now we're kind of at the final stage where all this is going to kind of come together. And now what I've done here is I've sliced out some of these. This is a zucchini, and I just used one of these little slicers. This is actually a Titan slicer. I highly recommend it. This stuff is really good. I'm really impressed with it. You can go, back and forth. But it's really easy, so when you're doing it, you don't want to go too far into the center because you're going to start pulling the seeds. So now I'm just going to flip over to the other side and just pull them out and see how it comes out real nice and thin. It's basically almost just like little pastas, and that's important. Okay, now I'm not going to put too much in there. And some of these, I'm not sure if I'm going to use these, but I got to the side here, but we'll see if I even need them. Alright, so now the first thing is putting the sauce in. Now I already pretty much laid a little layer of the sauce, and the next part is just putting the zucchini inside, and you want to basically cover the whole entire pot of this. And it's not going to be too pretty, but as long as it all gets covered up, that's all that really matters. Alright. I might squeeze in one of these small slivers. So, and then after that, what I'm going to do is I got this little pump spray here, which is really nice to create a nice little mist. And it's nice to do that because you don't want to douse it with a whole lot of oil. And then a little bit of salt. That's pretty much it. Now the next layer is going to be the cheese. Okay. Now on this one you want to pretty much do the same thing. Not too much. And all I'm doing is just kind of moving it around, making sure it all gets kind of covered. Now there's going to be several layers of this. I'm just going to show you the first layer, and then I'm going to come back and then show you the actual finished piece. But I want you to see what I'm doing here. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the sauce and put some of this goodness in here. Yeah, buddy. It's almost kind of like how you see people making pizza and they put the pizza sauce on the pasta, on the bread. It's kind of like that. So you don't want to put too much on there. And when this is all done, it's important to let it sit. Okay, now we're going to go to the spinach. Alright, and we're just going to put this down like this. Now you can make this as, try to be as neat as you want, but when I'm rolling through these things and trying to make something quick to eat, I just kind of just throw it all in there. But you pretty much do what you like on that part. Basically, you just want to make sure that it's all covered up as much as you can. See if I can. You don't want to have it too thick with spinach because this is going to throw it all off in terms of the layers of flavor and texture. So I think that's okay. And now we're going to put another spray of olive oil and some more salt. That's it. Now I'm going to do this all over again and show you the actual finished pieces, or the actual finished piece when I'm done. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, so this is the final piece, and I did about 4 layers, and I just kind of sprinkled the spinach on top as just kind of like a garnish or whatever. But you will have leftover cheese and sauce. Now I would recommend you can use this for dips. What I do with the tomato sauce, I actually add some hot spices to it, and it's a really good dip, with any kind of chips that you might have that are raw. I actually have a really excellent chip that I make with think they're sweet potatoes, and I'll have to make that on a separate video because it's kind of it's a lot to do. But if you have the opportunity to make something like this, keep in mind that you don't have to do it all at one time. You can do it in stages. You can make your cheese and your sauce and put it in the refrigerator. If you do that, make sure you take it out probably an hour before you start to put it on it, because the cheese will thicken up. It will thicken up. It's going to be hard to work with and spread. So make sure you take it out so it can de-thaw a little bit. But this is a really good recipe, and for me specifically, I know that I really enjoy the different types of flavors and textures in raw foods. And coming from an Hispanic background, actually when I was the age of 15, I was on my own, so I learned how to cook at a pretty early age. And my father also cooked, when I used to live with my parents. But to get that fused into raw foods has been a little bit of a challenge for me. So I'm trying to figure out how to do all that. And I had a friend of mine, his grandmother that I lived with at the age of 15, and she was old school Italian. She made her own pastas. She made her own sauces, and so I learned how to make sauces when I was big into cooking. So when it comes to making sauces and things like that, I don't cut anything out. I make sure that every little detail, the flavor is put in there, and so to get something like this is a nice variety. Now, it's not going to be a regular lasagna. Yes, I know. And for all you true cheese lasagna Italians out there, don't get mad at me, because I know this is not really lasagna, but it's really good. You're probably like, get five, but you got to try something different. I think more and more people are getting into raw foods, and even if it's just 1 or 2 meals of your day, just try something different, something like a shake or a salad. Everyone eats salads anyway, so by this has a lot of greens in it, a lot of spinach, so it's high in protein. Yes, it's got some nuts in there, so we do have to watch our fats. But again, I think it's a good variety, a good choice to try to play with different types of foods, to try to incorporate what we normally eat. But when you eat pasta and lasagnas and things like that, you feel really, really heavy, and you feel like at least I do. And getting away from the pastas has been a big, huge step for me in this whole raw experience. And when I was a vegetarian, I was still eating pastas and rice and things like that. And for me specifically, I had a high blood sugar, and my triglycerides were really up there, and it runs in the family. So I really had to figure out ways to basically cut out all my sugars. And there was so many things that I was eating: pasta, rice, tortillas, empanadas, enchiladas, all that stuff, and all that, but so I had to basically find my niche in terms of a different way to eat a little bit healthier, and raw has definitely been a nice experience for me, and I feel so much energy when I eat raw foods. I don't feel weighed down. My workouts are impeccable. I mean, they're just so much more energy that I feel, stamina and all that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this recipe, and I will see you next time.
The girl them skill out, chick. Thunderball, some give it to, some give it to, some give it to our girls. 5,040,000 naughty shot.